Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Sage and welcome to this video everybody. In this video I will go over 5 of the best heavy weapons that you should definitely get in Pixel Gun 3D. Now I've been avoiding doing this video for a really long time because I don't really like talking positive things about area damage weapons, but unfortunately a lot of you guys did want to see it. Well, it's not really unfortunate, but a lot of you guys really wanted to see this video, so I did go ahead and compile a list, and I'll be analyzing all the factors that go into me choosing the weapon. So I'll be talking about why I pick the weapons, how I do it, the process of going through the whole thing. So I'll be talking about different types of weapons, or different types of heavy weapons rather, different uses for them. Some are better for one function and some are better for a different function. So I'll be going over that in detail, so hopefully that will help you guys out a lot and help you guys understand more why I picked the weapons that I did. That being said, guys, if you guys do enjoy this video, I would very much appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, because I do post videos every single day on YouTube. So if you do like active YouTubers, I post every single day, and I also like to stream occasionally as well. And I'm very, very excited to say that my entire setup is going to be here tomorrow, so I will be able to do streams more often. So I'm really looking forward to that, guys. So be sure to turn on those notifications after you subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into this video. So like I was just saying before, guys, there's a lot of things that go into the ways that I pick these weapons. So I figured since I don't normally explain to you guys how I pick the weapons, I would go ahead and do it during this video. So the only thing I can really say right now is that there's so many different factors that play into it, because like I was saying before, there are so many different types of weapons that you have to keep in mind for choosing them. So one of the major things that you have to be looking at for heavy weapons is whether or not they have the ability to rocket jump, and obviously that's something that's very, very important to a heavy weapon. I believe the majority of the heavy weapons no longer make you able to rocket jump without giving you damage, so that's obviously a downside for people who like to rocket jump. So although I do not like to rocket jump myself, I'll go ahead and give you some, give rocket jumpers some advice real quick. So there's a couple weapons that I would use here for, specifically for rocket jump. I was just using the cherry bomb works, and this one also here works as well. This is the rocket jumper. So the rocket jumper, the cherry bomb, they both do 3 shots to the body in order to kill people, and it also, obviously, it is a rocket jump weapon. And there's also some more. For example, the Space Devastator here serves the same function. You can rocket jump with it, and it is a 3-shot to the body as well. So this is one of the things that I look for when I'm picking these heavy weapons, is whether or not they have the ability to rocket jump, because obviously, some people are going to want rocket jump, some people are not going to want rocket jump, so I gotta kind of find a balance where I can use some rocket jump weapons on the list and some non. But all of these weapons that I was just showing in this clip are very powerful. They are a 3-shot to the body, and they do a lot of damage, and they RJ. So some heavy weapons are really, really weird, such as this one here. The Ghost Lantern obviously is not going to be one of the best heavy weapons that you can get in the game. It's very difficult to use, but there's a bunch of different weapons that are super weird. Some of them are more good than the other. For example, the Piranha is pretty decent. For what it's worth, at least, the Piranha is pretty decent. Obviously, the Ghost Launcher is not something you're going to want to be using as your heavy weapon. It takes so long in order to, for the bullet to travel. It's incredibly slow, and obviously that's not going to be very, very good during battle. There's a whole bunch of really weird weapons. So, the Stinger 3000 has a really weird method of controlling the bullet. Wherever you look is where the bullet will be going, so it's definitely really interesting. Sometimes the bullet you can actually make to come back towards you, and it can actually make it so you can hit you, which is really, really cool, but obviously that's not very easy to do, during the game. Obviously you're not going to want to hit yourself, and hitting the opponent with this weapon specifically is a little bit difficult, so likeliness is I will not be putting it on this list, because it's just kind of hard to use. So some really frequently used weapons that a lot of people do use are for example the Christmas Ultimatum. It does a lot of damage, it has a cluster effect, and it is extremely, extremely powerful. There's a bunch of other weapons as well, like the Temple Guardian. This one's starting to make a come up. A lot of people are using this now, although it does have a fixed delay whenever you switch to it. That's the only downside of it, but there are a lot of other common weapons that a lot of people use, like the Destructive System there, the Big Buddy. These are just really powerful weapons that I see a lot of people use. These are just common weapons people use. And of course, we can't leave out some of our craftable weapons. I already have talked about a couple, like the Destructive System, the Christmas Ultimatum, but like specifically here, the Royal Ashbringer. A lot of people really like this weapon, and there's obviously a lot of good reasons why. That weapon is extremely good, but there aren't too many heavy weapons that are actually really good in the crafting. So luckily for you, most of the good ones you can actually buy for coins, except for like the ones that are obviously in sets. But like I was just saying, most of them are going to be able for you to buy. This one right here is really good, whereas the Armadillo, yeah, the Armadillo is a weapon that used to be like one of the most overpowered and overused weapons in the game, and it did get nerfed, but it is pretty common still. So after factoring all of these things in order to pick the best, list for weapons that I can choose for the heavy loadout, I think that the first one I'd have to say is probably the Hurricane. So the Hurricane is one of the best, heavy weapons in the game because of the fact that it's high damaging. It has a 4-shot capacity, meaning you don't have to, do a really long reload sequence before, in between shots. And it's free, guys. You can get this weapon for free in the clan system. What's not to like about a really good free weapon? So, guys, the Hurricane doesn't have any animations or anything, so I see a lot of people, combine it with a 3-cat loadout to make it a 4-cat loadout. And that's what I see a lot of people do. Like I said, they combine it with a 3-cat loadout they already have in order to make it like a 4-cat to just have that little bit of area damage in their loadout. If you're looking for something like that, then this is definitely the weapon for you guys. It is absolutely free. Modules you can put on it to make it be, I believe it is a 2-shot and maybe occasionally a 1-shot, but I've never actually 1-shot with it, so I think it's safe to assume that it is a 2-shot. So guys, this weapon is free, it is extremely high damaging, and it has a really fast fire rate as well. That's something you don't see too often with a lot of heavy weapons. They tend to have slow fire rates, but this one has a pretty good fire rate, and it has a good capacity as well with 4 bullets. Okay, so the next weapon I will be talking about is called the Proton Freezer, and let me tell you guys why I chose this one, because this one was a little bit hard to put on here, but at the same time, I eventually came to, a reason why it should be on this list. So, the Proton Freezer, guys, is a 2-shot to the body, obviously. It can't be a 2-shot to the head since it is an area damage weapon. Area damage weapons, if you guys didn't know, they can't do any difference for headshot. You could shoot directly at the head and it wouldn't do any more damage or anything. That's just how area damage functions. With the Proton Freezer, guys, you can rocket jump with this weapon, and it has a 10, it's like an 8 to 10 capacity rate. It has a decently high fire rate, and the damage is absolutely incredible, guys. You can rocket jump without any, effect towards you, which is, if you're looking for something like that, then this is definitely a great weapon for you to get. It is only 500 coupons to get in the gallery, and it's 100% worth it, guys. This weapon also has a slowdown effect, so whenever you shoot somebody with it, it makes it so they can move a lot less, easily. So, they're not going to be able to move around and trying to escape you as much. That's something that's really good with a weapon like this. Especially for a heavy weapon, you don't tend to see, heavy weapons having special effects like this. So, for this one to only be 500 coupons in the gallery, it's so worth it for you to get, guys. This weapon is by far one of the best, heavy weapons in the entire game. So next, the weapon I'm sure everyone's waiting for, the Christmas Ultimatum, guys. The Christmas Ultimatum is by far one of the best heavy weapons that has ever been in the game, ever, in the entire history of it. And let me explain why. The weapon itself is a 1-shot. It does have a cluster effect, meaning that it shoots a bullet, which is initially an area damage weapon, which then turns into a bunch of bombs exploding around it, creating a secondary explosion effect, which can do up to half the amount of damage that you shot from the original bullet. So if you don't insta-kill them with that first shot, the cluster bombs that come from around it are going to do the finishing job, guys. Now, this weapon does cost 1,000 coupons to get, so is it worth it? Yes. This weapon, you are able to rocket jump with it. Not very high, but you do have to jump and then shoot for yourself to be able to rocket jump with it. I don't really recommend it as your, your sole rocket jumping weapon. It's not something that I would really recommend. But this weapon, guys, is extremely high damaging, and it has a really high fire rate as well. You can shoot, bullets over and over again without any hesitation. And the weapon doesn't have any sort of, animation either. So, like I was just saying, you can combine it with a 3-category loadout, where you can combine it with anything, and you can actually use it as a middleman weapon by itself. So, using this weapon can balance any 3-cat method that you're using to have, animation weapons be canceled out. So, if you're using the anti-champion and the reflector, for example, you can do anti-champion over to Christmas Ultimatum and then over to reflector, and it'll work just fine like that, guys. And the weapon itself does so much damage. It has a high capacity and high fire rate, so it's definitely worth the 1,000 coupons to get, but it's by far one of the best heavy weapons. Alrighty, everybody, the next weapon I will be talking about is called the Destructive System. Now, the Destructive System is one of the most interesting weapons in the game. It's been out for a really long time, however, not a lot of people use it anymore. I've seen a lot of pro players like Lucas use it during his montages and whatnot, but whenever I'm in game, I don't really see it too much anymore, and I'm not exactly sure why. The weapon hasn't gotten buffed, or it hasn't gotten nerfed, rather. It hasn't gotten buffed either, but the weapon itself, guys, does so much damage. It has a relatively slow fire rate. Obviously, it's kind of like the big buddy. It shoots kind of slow, but it reloads a decent amount of time. It reloads not too slow, not too fast. But the weapon, guys, is a one shot. You can combine it with 3-cat without any animations or anything like that, and that's something that's, like I was talking about earlier, is really, really good to see on a heavy weapon, because nowadays almost every single weapon has an animation, and if you're trying to combine an area damage weapon with it, it's really, really hard, because a lot of them will have fixed delays, such as the portal gun, I believe, has a fixed delay. The Temple Guardian has a fixed delay. The Solar Cannon has a fixed delay. A bunch of those weapons that can no longer be used for cat spamming, but this one does not have any delay yet, and I'm really surprised about that. You think it would, because it's been in the game for so long, but it actually does not. So if you are able to get this weapon, you 100% should, guys. It is so good. It is really high damaging. Even at level 45, I used to beast with this thing, but it's really, really good either way. Alrighty, everybody, the last weapon I will be talking about in today's video is called the World Ashbringer. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the weapon, so I cannot show you guys any gameplay with it that I have on myself, but I have asked a couple of friends of mine, and they have told me a lot about the weapon. As you guys can see there, the specs, it does a 219 damage. It has slowdown, it has the slow down the target, which means that the person gets slowed down whenever you get hit with them, and you can also rocket jump with this weapon. You can combine it with 3-cat spam. It doesn't have any sort of delays, guys. The weapon itself is extremely high damaging. I believe it is a 2-shot to the body, and that's really, really, really good. And unfortunately, this weapon is kind of hard to get. The parts are really, really difficult to get. You can't really find them anywhere. It's never really in event sets, so this weapon is definitely really rare and hard to find. So if you are able to have this weapon, or if you do have it, you should definitely use it. Alright, everybody, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys did find it useful. If you did, make sure to let me know down in the comments. I would love to see what you guys have to say. Recently, the channel has been blowing up like crazy, and I think it's because I'm doing the videos that you guys want to see. So, if you guys have any future videos you would like to see on this channel, let me know down in the comments, and more than likely, I will end up choosing it to use as a future video. So, I love you guys all so much, and thank you guys all so much for watching. Click that subscribe button right now, or else I'm going to steal your kidneys. Just kidding, not kidding. I'm gonna steal your kidneys if you don't subscribe. Hey, do you have Discord? If so, you should totally join the official Unity Discord. The link to it is down in the description. As of right now, we have over 500 members who are constantly looking for people to play with. As soon as you join, you can have easy communication with me and everyone else in the community. So, what are you waiting for, man? Go join my Discord. The link is down in the description.